Hey there, fellow metalsmiths. Rodamon here. Thank you for tuning in to Vintage Story Primitive Survival. Episode 30, A Gilded Lantern for Light. This is just one of many caves around me that I've, I don't even know if I've fully searched this cave, to be honest. I don't think I have. That's how, abundant it is down there. Definitely got lucky, because when I moved here, I had no idea. Now, ideally, these guys would have been done because, I could pour enough ingots for 2 plates. So, actually, I need... No, I have enough for the bismuth. Never mind, I take that back. I wouldn't need 2 plates. There we go. And stick the rest in there. I guess I can start to stick the andesite in there, too. Hey, Marks! Thank you for the sub and the follow. I think we determined what, like, 3 is enough for 200 units. I must say, it is really convenient to have my fishing weirs right next to the smithy, so that when I'm waiting for things to melt, I can just, like, process fish. Because otherwise I would just, like, never bother. So let's run this over to the kitchen. I could have another bridge, too. Maybe at some point I'll put in another bridge. Do I have what I need to line up the lantern? Yes, I already do. But I don't have the ingot molds for it. So I'm going to first pour these guys, the bismuth. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I don't even... Forget charcoal. Bismuth is a low melt point. Wood is fine. Gold, I think, has a low melt point too, right? Nope. I could probably bring it to the working temperature, but I'm not going to bother doing that. So we'll make a plate of bismuth and a plate of gold. There it is. Let's pour it. And you can kind of see the color of the bismuth. And that's more or less what the what it looks like once it's done. So I'm going to wait to start smelting the gold for a minute so that these have a chance to cool, but because they're low process temps, they should be pretty cool pretty quick. And then we need to reheat them and smash them into a plate. What is that? What was I doing? I came here for something. Well, I have a saw on me that I don't need to hold. This in here. That, alright, the cap hook for more firewood. That's what I was grabbing. Oh, it's not down there anymore. So once those are solid, I guess I can actually start pouring the gold. Let's get the gold heated. and ready to make gold plate stew. You want me to remove this? Sure. I'll have to hide the, yeah, I'll do it like this. There. None the wiser. So these are hardened. Now the molds are free. That is already preheated, so 1, 2, 3. And I'm reheating up the ingots to smash them into plates. Which will require... I'll use the hammer that I have on me. The tongs and the hammer. And then this gold at 1063 will become a liquid, and I'll pour them into the ingot too. Did we start beekeeping for candles? Nope. I'm just going to harvest some wild hive for it once the plates are done. I'm not going to bother beekeeping for it. There's so many bees near me. I won't harvest the closest hive to me, because that's going to be the easiest to put in a skep. I'll go to where the next closest wild hive is, like these here maybe, and murder some bees. So for some metals like bismuth, it can only ever become a plate, which means when you put them down, you don't get asked for what you're making because there is no choice. So you might panic for a second and be like, oh, shoot, I screwed up. Because in Vintage Story, if you pick a pattern, you're, like, stuck with it. Which is a bit sketch. So if you have something important, like iron, and you start... And you're going to make, like, I don't know, chainmail or something, and you accidentally click something stupid, like fishing hooks. You're stuck making iron fishing hooks. It's not the greatest system. Okay, that's molten. Perfect. So yeah, it makes sense that when there's no options, it doesn't give you a choice. But it definitely freaks me out every time that happens anyway, because I'm so used to having the choice when starting a metal project. I'm like, oh god, did I screw up? Did it auto-choose? Because, like, you know, I've definitely messed up metalworking projects that way before. And it sucks. You need a confirmation button, or like more like an undo button. I wouldn't want to go through a confirmation button every time, but like before you even start moving metal around, and some sort of like, oops, no, JK, this isn't what I wanted, would be nice. Only because if it was constantly a confirmation button, you would get, like, alert fatigue, and just you would learn to ignore it, and you'd still constantly make the wrong projects, I think. Just because you would, out of force of habit, and this happens with any game that has, like, those confirmation button prompts, at least for me, it becomes force of habit of me clicking through it really quickly. The same is true, like, when I schedule YouTube videos, I barely even know the process, because it's, like, so much ingrained muscle memory now that I'm just like, click, 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 like, you know, watching someone spam their way through, like, you know, some sort of HUD system that they've had to use for years. Like, that's me on publishing YouTube videos. It's like, oh, you know, I've done this 8,000 times. I don't even look anymore. I just do it blind. And then when it gets screwed up, I have to, like, sleuth what the hell went wrong, because, like, I'm so not used to it ever going wrong. Oops. Meteoric iron nails. Yes! That is exactly the kind of oops that I'm referring to. Of, like, some sort of really important project that you totally botch choosing the wrong prompts. Been there, done that, it sucks bad. I love how the gold looks like that. Well, while the gold hardens, mayhaps I go get some beeswax. I have a brief thing to do first, though. Which is food and water. Yeah, I could definitely see them making the smithing mod some sort of vanilla. To make it a little bit more foolproof, for sure. My only worry is for the developer. Anytime they would do something like that, I'd be like, oh, that's just... Because this happened to, like, RimWorld a lot. Where, like, they took vanilla expanded features and made it vanilla. And everyone's like, you just ripped off vanilla expanded. It's like, yeah, with their permission and blessing, sure, they did. But they got permissions and blessings first. It's like, cut the developer a break. They're one of the good ones. They did it by the book. Chill, people. That's my only worry for, you know, for developers incorporating modded features into their base game. It's like, they probably get roasted for it. And completely unwarranted, too. Alright, headed to... Oh, do I still have the, one of these red clays pinned? Yep, not that one. Even without permissions and blessings, why would people be upset if the base game gets better? Plagiarism. I don't think the average player is going to care, but I don't think that developers should plagiarize from members of their community. With that said, I'm sure, like, developers plagiarize from other games. I hear that all the time of, like, well, you know, especially in this game, it's like, is this Minecraft? It's like, for the love of God, it's not Minecraft. If you spend more than 5 seconds watching this game, it's very clearly a Minecraft, but that's probably the... Oh, no, Pit Viper. That's probably the question I see the most. It's like, okay, yes, it's Minecraft. Yeah, that's... I'm just give up. It's like, yep, you caught me. I'm secretly playing Minecraft in Vintage Story. Oh, you piece of little wiggly garbage. I've just created a new term for snakes. Piece of wiggly garbage. And after I get bit by the frickin' snake, I'm about to get stung by bees, too. This is fun. Yeah, I should just have a command of, like, no, it's not Minecraft. I know. You know, if I sufficiently anticipate... Oh, Jesus. After getting stung by the snake, the sounds of these, like, crickets or whatever freaked me the hell out. I might be barking up the wrong tree. Well, it's the right tree, but the wrong side. So the beehive closest to my base, I'm leaving alone because if I ever beekeep, I'm going to want to not mess with that one because it's going to be easiest to get them into skep. So let me back up for a second. The way that beekeeping works in Vintage Story is you make a empty skep out of clay and cattails, and then you place that empty skep next to a wild beehive, and then surround the skep with flowers to encourage the bees to procreate and replicate, and they will move from the wild beehive into the skep, thereby being sort of domesticated. They still sting you, but quote-unquote domesticated, allowing you to move them around and periodically harvest them or whatever. And the reason why I wanted to leave the one closest to my base alone is it's just by far the most convenient to skep. Because this one would be really annoying to skep because it's like freaking a mile up the tree. But there we go. I got my honeycomb. As well as like a swarm of angry bees. And I want to get my ladder back. Most of it, at least. Oh, no, I got the whole thing back. Yep, snake bite and then bee stings. Exactly. That's how my day is going. So now I've got the honeycomb. I might want to... I wonder if there's a handbook for this. So in order to get honey, you can squeeze honey into a container. Normally I squeeze it into a barrel. So I'm gonna, and honey counts as fruit satiety. So it satiates your fruit needs, which mine are kind of not met right now. So it would be really good if I didn't waste the honey when trying to get the honeycomb out of it. And there's other uses for honey as well, beyond eating, right? I had mentioned this a little bit before, but there's honey poultices. So with honey, so the way it works is you take honeycomb and you squeeze over an empty container to get honey and wax. So you squeeze it out to get honey and beeswax. Beeswax, of course, then eventually becomes a candle with a wick. It does ruin one of your vessels when you do it, but whatever. And then the honey itself can become an ingredient for foods. It can be made into mead through distilling. And I don't know why it's... Oh, yeah. I don't know why it's not showing me... Yeah, there's mead. The other uses for honey. Like why the honey poultices aren't in this option. Yeah, made into jam, of course. But what I really wanted to show was the honey poultices. Yeah, honey sulfur poultices. So you take powdered sulfur and honey, and you can create healing items. One of the advantages of alcohol in the hydrate or dihydrate mod pack, which is unrealistic, but like part of the game mechanics, is it hydrates you. And it will pause your hydration meter the same way that like eating a complex meal will pause your food meter. So alcohol is actually a really good way to have like travel hydration. You know, if you're going to be going really far from your base and you don't want to have to constantly hydrate, booze is where it's at. So if I'm going to make a new bucket, which I will make a dedicated bucket, wooden bucket, let's do a coil rope and some logs and get a dedicated honey bucket, a honey pot, if you will. Have I found lead on sulfur? I've found lead. I haven't found sulfur. All right, so the gold is ready to be reheated. I'll do that in a minute. Just one little project at a time. I don't think I have any more hardwoods. I could do it with out of oak. But all right, let's get more copper. Because I don't, my oak is needed for like tannins. So I need some more wood for the boards for the bucket. Where'd I put my saw? I think that's in the smithy. Yep. I'll do 48 boards for now. Mostly because the majority of my wood just becomes firewood. So, the rest of these logs will just be sitting here. Keeping everything in its, like, base form sometimes makes sense when you don't know what you're going to need. So here is the honey bucket. I'll process it in here. Oh, in here, I'll probably also put a fat lamp, because I don't need like a lantern in here. That would be super overkill. And you hold left shift and you just right click on the bucket and it squeezes the honey out into the bucket, where I'm left with beeswax. Then with beeswax, we take one of our pots and add beeswax and flax fibers to make a candle. Keep it in mind, it will ruin a pot. So luckily, I have like a bunch of extra pots, so I'm not too worried about the ruining process. So that's not an issue. This will create a candle. Perfect. And then once that's done, we'll get a candle out of that for our lantern. It used to be that you could just like make them without the pot, but that became requirement to have the pot, which makes it a little bit trickier and ruins the pot in the process. Well, not ruins. I mean, it can be our candle pot at this point. And there it is. Candle. So as you can see, this crock here is residue covered dark brown ceramic. So it's basically been waxed, meaning that it can make candles, but it cannot make edible food anymore. Do fat lamps produce smoke? They might produce a little bit of smoke. With that said, I don't really care about a teeny bit of smoke. I think the torch that I had down there for a while was fine, and the fat lamps probably produce even less smoke than the torch. So it's not. I think the concept is these structures aren't necessarily airtight, so like a low amount of smoke production is not going to cause that much of a problem. Alright, last piece of this project is gold plates. Oh, I also need one more clear quartz. I forgot about that. So all the gold is, well, I'll get the clear quartz in a minute. So, to expand upon that, clear quartz is like a special rarer quartz than regular quartz, which is like cloudy. Clear quartz you can make into lanterns. This cloudy quartz you cannot. You would have to run it through a bloomery to make glass for a lantern. So I don't have enough clear quartz for the lantern, but like, I can get it. It's not a big deal. Because I'm all the tunnels beneath me are like all quartz. So quartz is everywhere. And the difference that a player lantern is going to make is going to be huge. One, it won't go out in the water, and two, it's going to be multiple times brighter. So the light level of this torch is 14, and a lined lantern is 20. And that doesn't sound like a big difference, but in terms of like how far the light is cast, it is a pretty significant difference. It's very nice. Plate. And if you're wondering, most of you probably already know this, Helve hammers are windmill-driven hammers, which can make plates automatically, given mechanical power. So if you have a windmill that generates enough power, it can drive a hammer to hammer out plates for you, which is invaluable when you're trying to make a lot of lanterns or certain armors which require plates, like plate armor. Really anything that requires plates. So that also means metal chutes, because metal chutes are majority plates. There's a whole distilling is a lot of plates as well. So if you try to make like plate armor by hand, I would never do it on stream because it's just so much labor. You're going to be hammering for like hours. Whereas a Helve hammer powered by a speedy windmill, gonna manage that plate mill in like a tiny fraction of the time. Because I, for one, I actually really do like the smithing in the game, but like not enough to subject myself to the torture of making dozens of plates for distilling and armory and chutes and pulverizer chutes and whatever else. There we go. Now I've got the 2 plates I need. I've got the candle I need. Oh, and candles themselves can also be a light source. Like, you can put them down if you want. They're just not a very efficient light source by themselves. They just don't produce a lot of light. So now I am going to go get some clear quartz, and that is the last piece. So, lantern is 2 clear quartz, candle, the plate, and the lined plate. And I have 1 of 2 clear quartz. Clear quartz is not rare by any stretch. The only requirements is you have to have a bronze or better pick for it. It cannot be a copper pick, because copper doesn't mine quartz in the game. And any quartz vein will do. And quartz is definitely the most abundant thing to mine up other than rock in the game. By, like, a lot. So, quartz veins are... Well, you know how I originally said that tin and copper are the only surface... Well, technically they're only surface metals, but there's surface quartz all over the place. And there, I already got it. Clear quartz. Perfect. I'm not gonna get any more than I need. You love the idea of an everlasting candle? Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Same with a fat lamp. It's like, Hanukkah's about an oil lamp lasting, 8 days. But my fat lamp lasts forever. Like, it's beyond a miracle. Ooh, full moon. Okay. Collect the ingredients. And just so that you can follow along, we've got quartz, candle, lining, and lantern. And this, here's the difference. Light level 18, light level 20. Done. So, a good test of how bright this is, for reference, I'll put a torch here. So, I would say you can cast light to about maybe this point or so. Right? Any beyond and it's kind of in shadow. Let's swap it. And here is the lantern. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 farther, because it's 6 brighter. And doing some simple math, that's, like pi r squared, right? That's the radius of this is 14 or 20. The area of the lanterns being only 6 greater is so much farther. You can see a lot more area as a result. So it's the other thing is, of course, I no longer have to worry about this either. Go underwater, it's fine. How? I don't know, but it's fine. So it's another good one because, like, when I was swimming over to the resin trees, obviously I couldn't have a light source, so I was swimming in the dark, and it was kind of, like, horrifying. And now it's like, yeah, no problem. The other thing is, this will never burn out. This is a light source that is eternal. Never, ever, ever burns out. So the last thing I wanted to do was to create a fat lamp for this food cellar. So let's do that. But yeah, there you go. You got your mega lantern done. I'm happy about that. And this is, as long as I don't die and it despawns, like, this is my forever lantern. Oh my god. Without it. And I can just hang it up everywhere I go. Alright, so I'm going to sacrifice one of these ceramic bowls. And make a ceramic oil lamp, which is just a bowl plus fat. And I have a lot of fat, so that's not hard to do. I'm just going to plop this there. And you can also see like the light level that produces. So it doesn't seem to be producing a lot of smoke, as I suspected it wouldn't. Actually, maybe there? Actually might want rammed earth here. Oops. There. I kind of like that as a light spot. But now the fat lamps, the oil lamps last forever as well. So now I've got my food cellar at least perpetually illuminated, which is kind of nice because it's also the room that will like never have daylight, not normally. And what I have to do at this point, which I'll put on the board. Actually, I think what I'll do is I'll mark this task as complete because I did illuminate one room. Granted, it's only a little bit. But in a future stream, I'll have people vote whether I go over to the zinc, which is over here. There might be zinc closer, but this is the closest zinc I know of. Go to the zinc over here to make the brass torch holders. So I'd mentioned before that the other way to illuminate. So light, is there like a light guide here? No. So in terms of like brightness, your oil lamps aren't very bright. Light level 11, they're pretty dim. Candles by themselves are pretty dim as well, but you can stack candles. So if you had a bunch of candles, you can keep adding candles for more brightness. It's weird, but like it works. But by themselves, they're really dim. But it allows you to make the candles themselves allows you to make the lanterns. And then, oh, I didn't know this, but yeah, never mind. That's not even a thing in my version of the mod packs. So you have the torch holders for torch light at 14, and then you have lanterns at either 18 or 20. It's not unreasonable to necessarily have lanterns for every building, but like I said, there's a lot of instances where you're going to want torch holders if you need to light fires in the room. So in the smithy, I'm going to need to light the crucible fires and the forge fires. So having a perpetual torch in here is nice, and in the kitchen, for the same reason, having a perpetual torch in there is nice as well. And my ingot molds have finished. The reason I like 2 ingot molds is there's a lot of projects that require 2 plates, or if I want to do, like a larger batch pour to make 400 bronze instead of 200 or whatever. But that aside, I think, friends, this is where I'm going to leave off, having completed the bismuth gold lantern. And what else did we do? We have a butchery now. We've got leather, which is just shy of a day, ready to go into the strong tandem barrels. We got salt. We've got a proper kitchen. It's bare bones, but a proper kitchen. We've got a new, easier to enter food cellar. We got the smoker. We got the clay oven once we have grains. We finished the well. Granted, it's bugged, and I'll try to debug it on my own time to try to figure out what the hell's going on with it. And then, a little bit extra smithy and all the storage. So, not a ton, but not nothing. Some pretty good progress there. And this is where I'm going to leave off. Thank you for tuning in to Vintage Story Primitive Survival, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rodamont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rodamont.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow survivors.